The hospital room is a blur of flickering neon lights, the sharp beep of monitors cutting through the chaos of Halloween night. I'm Emma Carter, 34, curled on a gurney at St. Luke's in Seattle, my stomach screaming like it's being ripped apart. My 3-year-old Liam huddles in the corner, clutching his teddy bear. His wide eyes locked on me. I'm shaking not just from the pain, but from the video call on my phone. My mother's voice slices through shrill and cold. Emma, don't ruin our Hawaii trip. We've had these tickets for a year. Tears burn my cheeks. The pain in my gut is nothing compared to the betrayal stabbing my heart. They're my parents, and they're choosing a party over me, over Liam, while I fight for my life. The hospital room smells of antiseptic, sharp and sterile, clinging to every breath I take. It's Halloween night 2025, and I'm lying in a bed at St. Luke's in Seattle. My body curled around a pain that feels like 1,000 knives twisting in my gut. My name is Emma Carter, 34 years old, a freelance interior designer who's been running on fumes for months. 8 months ago, my world shattered when my husband Michael died in a plane crash, leaving me to raise our 3-year-old son, Liam, alone. Now here I am facing emergency surgery for acute appendicitis, and the only thing keeping me grounded is the sight of Liam in the corner, his tiny hands clutching his teddy bear, his big brown eyes, watching me with a quiet fear that breaks my heart. I'm trying to hold it together, but the pain is relentless, a burning wave that makes my vision blur. The nurses bustle around, their voices a low hum, but I can barely focus. My phone sits on the bedside table, still warm from the call that just ended. My mother's words echo in my head, each one a fresh wound. Emma, don't ruin our Hawaii trip. My parents, Robert and Diane Carter, are in California packing for a Halloween party in Honolulu, their voices dripping with annoyance when I beg them to come to Seattle to watch Liam. We've had these tickets for a year, my mother snapped, as if my life hanging in the balance was a minor inconvenience. My father was worse, his tone cold and cutting. You're always making a drama out of nothing, Emma. We're retired. We deserve this. I close my eyes, fighting the tears that threaten to spill. For years, I've been sending them $3,000 every month, a chunk of my income to support their lavish lifestyle cruises, a yacht dinner parties at their gated community in Palm Springs. I started helping when they took early retirement 5 years ago, their savings too thin to sustain their dreams. Even after Michael's death, when my own finances crumbled under medical bills and funeral costs, I kept sending the money, wiring it like clockwork, believing it was my duty as their daughter. Family sticks together, right? That's what I told myself, even as they brushed off my grief, never once asking how I was coping without Michael. Now with Liam needing them and me facing surgery that could go wrong, they can't be bothered to miss one party. My mind drifts to my sister Lauren, who lives just an hour away in Tacoma. I called her too, my voice shaking as I explained the situation. I'm kinda busy, Emma, she said, her tone distracted, like she was scrolling through her phone. I've got this Halloween influencer shoot for Instagram. Can't you find someone else, Lauren, the golden child? Always the center of attention. Growing up, it was always about her modeling gigs, her prom queen crown, her perfect life. When I won a scholarship to college, my parents barely noticed, too busy celebrating Lauren's casting in a local commercial. When Liam was born, they visited once, complaining the hospital was too far and that newborns were too fussy. I was always the afterthought, the one who had to earn their love while Lauren got it for free. The pain spikes and I grip the bedsheets, my breath hitching. Liam looks up, his small voice trembling. "Mommy, okay?" I force a smile, my heart aching for him. He's already lost his dad, and now he's stuck in this cold, sterile room, watching his mom fall apart. I can't let him down. I won't. But the betrayal from my family burns deeper than the pain in my body. How could they choose a party, a photo shoot, over us? How could they leave Liam alone when I might not make it through the night? A nurse steps into the room, her badge reading Sarah Nguyen. She's young, maybe late 20s, with kind eyes that seem to see right through my brave face. She checks my chart, then glances at Liam, her expression softening. "You're going through a lot, aren't you?" she says. Her voice gentle, not rushed like the other staff. I nod, unable to speak, the lump in my throat too heavy. Sarah kneels beside Liam, offering him a sticker from her pocket. A cartoon pumpkin that makes his face light up. "Your mom's strong," she tells him, then looks at me. "And you don't have to do this alone. I have a friend, Rachel, a nanny who specializes in kids who've lost a parent. She's amazing. Want me to call her?" Her kindness catches me off guard, a flicker of warmth in this freezing nightmare. I swallow hard, my voice barely a whisper. "Yes, please." For the first time tonight, I feel a spark of hope, like maybe, just maybe, Liam and I aren't as alone as I thought. But the weight of my parents' words, Lauren's indifference still presses down, a reminder of how little I've meant to the people who should love me most. As Sarah steps out to make the call, I look at Liam, his tiny fingers tracing the pumpkin sticker, and I make a silent promise I'll fight for him, for us, no matter what it takes. Even if it means facing the truth about the family I've spent my life trying to please. The hospital room feels smaller now, the walls closing in as the pain in my gut pulses like a living thing, sharp and unforgiving. Liam's soft breathing from the corner where he's curled up with his teddy bear is the only thing anchoring me. His pumpkin sticker from Sarah glows faintly under the dim hospital lights, a tiny spark of joy in this sterile hell. I'm Emma Carter, 34, and I'm staring down the barrel of emergency surgery. My body betraying me while my family, my own flesh and blood, has already turned their backs. My parents, Robert and Diane, are probably sipping cocktails in Hawaii by now. Their Halloween party, more important than their daughter fighting for her life. Lauren, my sister, is an hour away in Tacoma, too busy posing for Instagram to care about Liam, her 3-year-old nephew, who's scared and alone in this hospital room. The weight of their betrayal sits heavy, like a stone in my chest, but it's Liam's quiet sniffle that snaps me out of it. He's watching me, his big brown eyes wide with worry, and I know I can't fall apart. Not now, not ever. I've spent years bending over backward for my parents, wiring them $3,000 every month to fund their yacht, their gated community, their endless vacations. I did it even after Michael's plane crash tore my world apart, when every dollar felt like a piece of my heart. I thought it was love duty, family. But their words from the call, my mother's shrill, "Don't ruin our trip," and my father's cold, "You're always making a drama," echo in my head, and I see it now. I was never their daughter. I was their ATM. Sarah Nguyen, the nurse with the kind eyes, steps back into the room, her phone in hand. "I reached my friend Rachel," she says, her voice soft but steady. "She's a nanny, specializes in kids who've lost a parent. She can be here in 30 minutes to stay with Liam. She's amazing, you'll see." I nod, my throat tight, barely able to process her kindness. A stranger is stepping up when my own family won't. It's humbling, and it's infuriating. Why does it take a nurse, someone I've known for an hour, To show me what family should look like, I glance at my phone, the screen still lit with my mother's last message. "We deserve this trip, Emma." My fingers tremble as I open my banking app. Every month, like clockwork, I've sent that $3,000, even when it meant skipping my own bills, dipping into savings, stretching my freelance income to the breaking point. No more. I scroll to the automatic transfer settings, my heart pounding. This isn't just about money. It's about choosing Liam, choosing myself. Choosing to stop being the daughter who begs for scraps of love. I hit cancel, my breath catching as the confirmation pops up. It's done. But I'm not finished. I open a new message to my parents, my fingers moving before I can second guess myself. I'm done. Liam and I aren't your burden anymore. Don't contact us. I send it, then block their numbers. My chest tight with a mix of fear and freedom. I do the same for Lauren, her flippant "I'm busy" still stinging. The phone feels heavy in my hand, like I've just cut a chain I've been dragging my whole life. Sarah watches me, her eyes gentle but knowing. "You okay?" she asks, and I manage a shaky nod. "I will be," I whisper, glancing at Liam. He's asleep now, his teddy bear tucked under his chin, oblivious to the storm inside me. Rachel will be here soon, and I'll go into surgery knowing Liam is safe. For the first time in years, I feel a flicker of control, like I'm not just reacting to my family's demands. I'm choosing my path for me, for Liam. And no matter what happens in that operating room, I know one thing for sure: I'm done living for people who don't see my worth. The hospital bed creaks under me, the thin mattress doing little to ease the fire in my gut. The pain from my appendicitis is a constant gnawing beast, but it's the ache in my heart that keeps me awake, staring at the ceiling tiles. Liam's soft snores drift from the corner, his teddy bear clutched tight the pumpkin sticker Sarah gave him glowing faintly in the dark. I'm Emma Carter, 34. Waiting for a surgery that could go wrong, and all I can think about is how I got here, not just to this hospital, but to this moment where my own parents, Robert and Diane, chose a Halloween party in Hawaii over their daughter and grandson, where my sister Lauren, an hour away in Tacoma, picked an Instagram shoot over helping Liam. I just canceled the $3,000 monthly transfers I've been sending my parents, cut them off with a text that still feels like a knife in my own chest. We're done. But as the weight of that decision settles, my mind pulls me back, unspooling memories I've tried to bury. I see myself 5 years ago, sitting at my kitchen table in Seattle, Michael across from me, his warm smile lighting up the room. My parents had just announced their early retirement, their savings too thin to support the life they wanted, yachts, gated communities, endless trips. I offered to help setting up the $3,000 monthly transfers, thinking it was temporary, a way to show love. Michael warned me, they'll lean on you forever if you let them, but I brushed it off. Family sticks together. I told him even when it hurts. He'd just nod, pull me close, and say, "We'll build our own family, Emma, one that knows how to love." And we did, with Liam's laughter filling our home, his tiny hands wrapped around our fingers. Then the plane crash stole Michael away 8 months ago, leaving a hole nothing could fill. I was drowning grief bills, raising Liam alone on my freelance interior design income. Yet I kept sending the money, even when it meant cutting corners, skipping my own needs. I upped it to $3,500 for a few months when Diane called, her voice syrupy. "We need it for the yacht payment, sweetie. It's our right to enjoy retirement," I gave, in desperate for their approval, hoping they'd see me, really see me as more than a paycheck. They never did. When I told them about Michael's death Diane said, "Oh, that's awful. But can you send the money early this month? We're booking a cruise." Robert didn't even call. Lauren sent a text. "Sorry, sis. Gotta run to a shoot. I was invisible, always had been. Growing up, it was the same. I'd bring home straight A's, win scholarships, but my parents' eyes were on Lauren, her modeling gigs, her prom queen crown. When I graduated college, they skipped the ceremony because Lauren landed a commercial. When Liam was born, they visited once, Diane wrinkling her nose. Babies are so loud. I spent my life chasing their love, thinking, if I gave enough time, money, effort, they'd finally choose me. But tonight, their voices on that call, you're making a drama." Emma ripped the veil off. "I wasn't their daughter. I was their safety net, nothing more." The realization hits like a punch. I've been living for them, not for me, not for Liam. Every dollar I sent, every plea I ignored, was me begging for a love they'd never give. But Liam, he's my reason now. His sleepy smile, his trust in me, that's what matters. I don't need their approval to be enough. I am enough. As the nurses prep me for surgery. Fear still lingers, but there's something new, a spark of strength, a quiet vow to live for the family Michael and I built, not the one that left me behind. The hospital corridor stretches endlessly before me, a blur of white walls and fluorescent lights as the nurses wheel my bed toward the operating room. The pain in my gut is a wildfire, each jolt of the gurney sending fresh waves of agony through me. I'm Emma Carter, 34, and the weight of this moment, acute appendicitis emergency surgery. The chance I might not wake up presses down like a physical force. Liam's face haunts me, his 3-year-old eyes wide with fear. Back in the hospital room, his teddy bear clutched tight, that pumpkin sticker from Sarah Nguyen glowing faintly on its fur. He's already lost his dad, Michael, to a plane crash 8 months ago. What if he loses me too? The thought is a knife sharper than the pain in my body, and I grip the bedsheet, fighting to keep my breathing steady. Rachel, the nanny Sarah called, is with Liam now. I met her just an hour ago. Her warm smile and gentle voice instantly calming him. She's kneeling by his side, telling him a story about a brave bear who protects the forest. Her words soft but steady, keeping his fear at bay. "Your mommy's the bravest bear of all," she told him, and Liam's shy nod, his tiny hand in hers, gave me a moment of peace. Rachel's a stranger, yet she's here showing up when my parents Robert and Diane are sipping Mai Tais in Hawaii. Too busy with their Halloween party to care. When my sister Lauren, an hour away, in Tacoma, is chasing Instagram likes instead of helping her nephew. I canceled their $3,000 monthly lifeline, cut them off with a text, "We're done." And the freedom of that choice battles the terror of this moment. The nurses pause outside the operating room, their voices a low murmur as they check my chart. Sarah Nguyen slips in beside me, her kind eyes steady. "You're gonna be okay, Emma," she says, squeezing my hand. And Liam's in good hands with Rachel. I also know a Zoom support group for single parents. Folks who've been through loss like you. I'll connect you when you're out, okay? Her words are a lifeline, a reminder that I'm not as alone as I feel. I nod my throat too tight to speak and whisper to myself I have to make it. For Liam, he's my reason, my everything. The one person who needs me to be more than a daughter begging for scraps of love. The operating room doors loom cold and final. Fear claws at me. What if the surgery fails? What if I leave Liam an orphan, his world shattered again? But I think of Michael, his voice echoing from better days. We'll build a family that loves without strings. I've let my parents' rejection define me for too long. sending them money I couldn't spare, chasing a love they'd never give. No more. I'm done living for Robert and Diane's approval. I'm living for Liam, for the life we're building, for the strength I didn't know I had until now. As the anesthesiologist approaches mask in hand, I close my eyes, picturing Liam's smile, his giggle when I tickle him. I'm coming back to you, I whisper a vow to my son, to myself. The world fades, but there's a fire in me, small but fierce, burning through the fear. Surgery comes and goes a success, but I wake weaker than I expected. My body heavy, my recovery, stretching 10 long days. Rachel stays with Liam, Sarah checks in, and that Zoom group waits for me, a new beginning. I'm still here, still fighting, and for the first time I know I'm enough. The hospital room is quiet now, the chaos of Halloween night fading into a dull hum of monitors and distant footsteps. I'm Emma Carter, 34, propped up in my bed at St. Luke's in Seattle, my body aching from surgery that saved my life, but left me fragile like a cracked glass ready to shatter. The appendicitis is gone, but the scars inside and out are fresh. Liam sleeps in the corner, his teddy bear tucked under his arm, that pumpkin sticker from Sarah Nguyen, still glowing faintly on its fur. Rachel, the nanny, who stepped in when no one else would, sits nearby, humming softly to keep him calm. 10 days into recovery. I'm still weak, each breath a reminder of how close I came to not making it. But it's not the pain that keeps me awake. It's the silence from my phone and the storm I know is coming. I canceled the $3,000 monthly transfers to my parents, Robert and Diane, right before surgery. I sent them a text, I'm done. Liam and I aren't your burden anymore, and blocked their numbers, along with my sister Lauren's. For years, I poured my freelance design income into their yacht, their Palm Springs parties, thinking it would earn their love. But their voices from that call, "You're making a drama, Emma, and we deserve our Hawaii trip," proved I was just their bank. Cutting them off felt like freedom, but I knew they wouldn't let go quietly. Now as I scroll through my phone, unblocking them to check for messages, the flood comes. 30 texts, a dozen missed calls, all from Robert and Diane. My mother's messages start soft, almost pleading, "Emma, why'd you cancel the transfer? We need that money." Then they turn sharp, venomous. "You're so selfish, we're drowning without it." My father's are worse, his words like fists. "After everything we've done, you pull this. You're an ungrateful brat." I stare at the screen, my chest tight, their anger. No surprise, but still a punch to the gut. They don't ask about my surgery, if I'm alive, if Liam's okay. It's all about the money, the $3,000 they counted on for their yacht payments, their cruises. I was in surgery fighting to survive, and they're mad about their lifestyle. Then there's Lauren's message, just one, her tone confused. "Hey, you okay? Mom and Dad are freaking out about the money. What's going on?" Typical Lauren, always a step behind, too wrapped up in her Tacoma influencer life to see the truth. She doesn't know I almost died, that her nephew needed her while she was chasing likes. I don't reply. I can't. Every word from them feels like a weight I'm too weak to carry. I set the phone down, my hands shaking, and look at Liam. He's my anchor, his peaceful sleep, a reminder of why I made this choice. I'm not their ATM anymore. I'm his mom. Rachel glances over her eyes, gentle but sharp. "Family can be rough," she says, like she's seen this before. "You're doing the right thing, focusing on him." Her words settle me, a stranger's kindness outshining my own blood. Sarah Nguyen pops in. Checking my chart, her smile warm. "You're looking stronger," she says, then lowers her voice. "That Zoom group I mentioned. They're ready to welcome you when you're out. You've got people, Emma. I nod the idea of a community strangers who might care more than my parents sparking something like hope. But the messages from Robert and Diane keep echoing their rage a dark cloud. They don't see me as a daughter, a mother, a person. They see a paycheck, and I've just taken it away. I know this isn't over. They'll push harder, demand more, because that's who they are. But for now, I turn my phone off, letting the silence wrap around me. Liam stirs, murmuring in his sleep, and I whisper, "We're gonna be okay." I'm choosing him, choosing us, and no amount of their anger can pull me back. The Seattle rain taps against my apartment window, a steady drumbeat that matches the dull ache in my side. It's been 2 weeks since my surgery at St. Luke's, and I'm Emma Carter, 34. Still moving slow, my body reminding me with every step how close I came to not making it. The appendicitis is gone, but the scar on my stomach is tender, a map of survival. Liam's laughter echoes from the living room where he's building a tower with Rachel the nanny, who's been our rock since that Halloween night. His teddy bear with Sarah Nguyen's pumpkin sticker still clinging to its fur sits on the couch, a quiet witness to our new normal. I'm trying to focus on him, on us, but the weight of what I did before surgery canceling, the $3,000 monthly transfers to my parents Robert and Diane, and cutting them off with a text "We're done" looms like a storm cloud. I've ignored their flood of messages, their calls, their accusations of selfishness. My sister Lauren in Tacoma sent one vague text, clueless as always. I thought blocking them would buy me peace, but I should have known better. A sharp knock at the door jolts me and my stomach twists, not from the scar but from instinct. I shuffle to the peephole, my breath catching. It's them, Robert and Diane, standing in the hallway, looking out of place in their designer coats against my rundown apartment building. Diane's clutching a leather folder, her face pinched with worry. Robert's arms are crossed, his jaw tight like he's ready for a fight. I hesitate, my hand on the knob. I could pretend I'm not here, but something, curiosity, maybe defiance, makes me open the door just a crack. "Emma, thank God." Diane says, her voice sugary too sweet, like she's rehearsing a role. "We've been so worried. I don't buy it." Her eyes flick past me, scanning the apartment, probably judging the second-hand furniture. Robert steps forward, his presence filling the doorway. "We need to talk," he says, his tone all business, no warmth. "Now." I don't invite them in, keeping the door half closed, my body a barrier. "What do you want?" I ask, my voice steadier than I feel. Diane's smile falters and she opens the folder, pulling out a spreadsheet, numbers in bold. "We're in trouble, Emma," she says, her voice rising dramatic. "You stopped the payments. We owe $180 yacht loans, the Palm Springs condo. You have to help us." Robert cuts in, his eyes hard. "You need to sell this place, get a loan, something. We raised you, you owe us." I stare at them, my parents who didn't call once to check if I survived surgery, if Liam was okay. They stood me up that night, chose a Halloween party in Hawaii over their grandson, and now they're here demanding I bail them out. "You didn't raise me," I say, my voice low, trembling with a fury I've never let out. "You left me in a hospital fighting to live while you partied. You left Liam, a 3-year-old, alone, and now you want my home." Diane gasps, clutching her pearls, literal pearls gleaming against her coat. "That's not fair," she says, her eyes welling up, but I know her tears. They're theater, not remorse. Robert pushes the door, trying to step inside, but I hold firm. "We're your parents," he snaps. "You don't get to walk away." I glance back at Liam, his tower wobbling as he giggles with Rachel. He's my reason, my strength. I already did, I say, meeting Robert's glare. You made your choice that night. I'm making mine. The air crackles, their shock palpable. They didn't expect this, Emma, the one who says no. But I'm not their doormat anymore. I'm Liam's mom, and I'm done begging for their love. The rain outside my Seattle apartment pounds harder, a relentless roar that mirrors the storm, brewing in my cramped hallway. I'm Emma Carter, 34, standing firm at my half-open door, my body a shield between my parents Robert and Diane, and the life I'm fighting to protect. 2 weeks post-surgery. My scar throbs, a reminder of the appendicitis that nearly took me, but it's their presence demanding I sell my home to save their yacht and Palm Springs condo that cuts deeper. Liam's giggles drift from the living room, where Rachel, our nanny, keeps him distracted. His teddy bear with Sarah Nguyen's pumpkin sticker watching over their block tower. I just told my parents they abandoned me and Liam that Halloween night, choosing a Hawaii party over us. And now the air crackles with their disbelief. Diane's face crumples, her perfectly manicured hand flying to her chest. Emma, how dare you? She gasps, her voice pitching into that theatrical wail she's mastered. We're your family. You can't just throw us away like this. Her tears are instant, but I know them. Crocodile tears meant to guilt, not to heal. Robert's eyes narrow his broad shoulders, squaring like he's ready to bulldoze through me. You're being ridiculous, he snaps, jabbing a finger at the spreadsheet in Diane's hand. We're talking $180,000 in debt. You owe us, Emma. We gave you everything growing up. Everything. I fire back, my voice shaking, but sharp years of swallowed anger spilling out. You gave me excuses. I was in surgery, fighting to live, and you were sipping cocktails in Hawaii. Liam, your grandson, was terrified, and you didn't even call to see if we were okay. My hands grip the doorframe, holding me steady as the words pour out. I sent you $3,000 every month, bled my savings dry, and you couldn't miss one party to help us. Diane's tears stop like a faucet, her eyes flashing. That's not fair, she cries, stepping closer, her perfume sharp and cloying. We had plans, Emma. We didn't know it was that serious. You always make a drama out of nothing. Her words are a slap, echoing that call from Halloween night. And I feel the old Emma, the one who'd apologize, who'd give in, flicker for a second. But I look back at Liam, his tower collapsing, as he laughs oblivious to this fight, and I know I'm not that Emma anymore. Drama. I say, my voice low, dangerous. I could have died, Diane. Liam could have lost his mom just like he lost Michael. And you think that's nothing. Robert scoffs, his face reddening. Don't bring your husband into this, he growls. You've always been ungrateful. We sacrificed for you, and now you're spitting in our faces. The hypocrisy burns, and I step forward, closing the gap, my eyes locked on his. Sacrificed? I've been your bank for years, Robert. I gave up my security, my peace for you. And when I needed you, you chose a party over your own flesh and blood. I owe you nothing. The hallway goes silent, the rain outside, the only sound. Diane's mouth opens, then closes, her usual script, failing her. Robert's jaw clenches, but he doesn't speak. For the first time, they're out of moves. I take a breath, my voice steady, now cutting like a blade. I'm Liam's mom. My job is to protect him, not to be your puppet. Get out. I swing the door shut, the click of the lock louder than their protests. Liam's voice calls out, Mommy, look, and I turn to see his wobbly tower, his smile brighter than the pain. I kneel beside him, ignoring the ache in my side, and whisper, It's perfect, buddy. The fight's not over, but this moment, Liam, me. Our little world, it's worth everything. The rain has softened to a drizzle outside my Seattle apartment, but the air inside feels heavy. Charged with the echo of the door I just slammed on my parents, Robert and Diane. I'm Emma Carter, 34, sinking onto the couch, my surgical scar, throbbing as my heart races from the fight. 2 weeks ago, I survived appendicitis at St. Luke's, but standing up to the people who raised me, who demanded I sell my home to save their $180,000 yacht and condo debt, feels like a different kind of survival. Liam's giggles fill the room, his block tower teetering as Rachel, our nanny, cheers him on. His teddy bear with Sarah Nguyen's pumpkin sticker sits nearby, a quiet reminder of the night my parents chose a Hawaii party over us. I told them they abandoned Liam, their grandson, and me, their daughter, and now as the adrenaline fades, I brace for what comes next. My phone buzzes, a flood of notifications lighting up the screen. I unblocked Robert and Diane's numbers after surgery, expecting their anger, but this is something else. An email from Robert sent to our entire extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles, even Lauren in Tacoma. The subject line, Emma's betrayal. My stomach drops as I open it. After all we've done for Emma, it reads, she's cut us off, leaving us destitute. We raised her, sacrificed everything, and now she's turned her back on us. Not one word about my surgery, about Liam alone in that hospital room, about their choice to party while I fought to live. It's a performance painting me as the villain, them as victims, and it stings more than I expected. I stare at the screen, my hands shaking. They're rewriting history, erasing their selfishness, and I feel that old pull to explain, to fix it, to be the good daughter. But Liam's laughter snaps me back, his tower crashing as he claps. I'm not that daughter anymore. I open a reply, addressing the whole family. My fingers steady as I type. I had emergency surgery 2 weeks ago. I could have died. Robert and Diane refused to watch Liam because they had a Halloween party in Hawaii. I've chosen to protect my son and myself. I hit send, my breath catching, knowing this will change everything. Within minutes, my phone lights up again. A text from Lauren, my sister, who's been silent except for one vague message before. Emma, oh my God, she writes. They told me you had a stomachache, nothing serious. I had no idea you almost died. I would have come for Liam. I'm so sorry. Her words feel genuine, but I'm cautious. Lauren's always been their golden child, blind to their flaws. Still, her apology is a crack in the wall they've built around her. I don't reply yet, not ready to trust. Then the family responds. My cousin Mark texts, is this true? They said you were fine. Aunt Linda calls her voice shaky. They told us you were just being dramatic, Emma. Why didn't you tell us? I explain, my voice calm but raw, and their shock turns to support. Mark's wife offers to drop off dinner. Linda promises to check in. It's not the whole family. Some stay silent, loyal to Robert and Diane. But it's enough to feel like I'm not alone. I think about the workshop Sarah mentioned about forgiveness, and her words echo, it's not about them. It's about freeing yourself. Maybe I'll go. Not to absolve my parents, but to let go of this weight. For now, I set the phone down, joining Liam on the floor. Build another tower, I ask, and his grin is all the answer I need. Robert and Diane's email was meant to break me, but it's backfiring. The truth is out, and I'm standing taller than ever, with Liam by my side, and a family chosen, not forced, starting to form around us. The Seattle spring sun filters through the curtains of my new home, a small 3-bedroom house. In a quiet suburb, its backyard alive with the sound of Liam's laughter. I'm Emma Carter, 34. 3 months past the surgery that nearly took me at St. Luke's my scar, now a faint line, a badge of survival. The appendicitis is a memory, but the battle with my parents, Robert and Diane, still lingers. I cut off their $3,000 monthly lifeline, stood my ground when they demanded I sell my old apartment to save their yacht and Palm Springs condo, and faced their lies in that family-wide email. Now, as I unpack boxes in this new space, I'm building something new, not just a home, but a life where Liam and I come first. The move was a leap. My old apartment cramped and full of ghosts from Michael's death 8 months ago in that plane crash held too much pain. Selling it gave me enough to buy this house, its mortgage lower than my old rent, a miracle in Seattle's market. The backyard with its patchy grass and a creaky swing set is Liam's kingdom. He's out there now chasing a butterfly, his teddy bear still sporting Sarah Nguyen's pumpkin sticker from that Halloween night propped on the porch. Rachel, our nanny, checks in part-time, but I'm managing more, each day my strength returning like a slow tide. I've scaled back my freelance interior design work. The endless client deadlines, too, draining after everything. Instead, I've started something new, designing memorial spaces for families who've lost loved ones. It began with a website I made for Michael, a digital tribute to his laugh, his love. A friend from Sarah's Zoom support group saw it, asked for one for her late sister, and word spread. Now I'm booking clients each project, a way to heal, to turn grief into something beautiful. The income's small, but growing enough to cover bills and chip away at the medical debt from my surgery. For the first time since Michael died, I feel purpose, not just survival. Lauren, my sister, is different now. That email I sent exposing how Robert and Diane chose a Hawaii party over Liam and me shook her. She's been coming from Tacoma every weekend bringing takeout and playing with Liam. Last Sunday, she sat on my new couch, her influencer polish gone, and said, "I was clueless, Emma. They always made you the bad guy. I'm trying to do better. I'm cautious, years of being her shadow." Don't vanish overnight, but when she pushes Liam on the swing, his giggles loud and free, I see a sister I might learn to trust. She's not perfect, but she's here, and that's a start. This house feels like a fresh page. Unpacking, I find Michael's old flannel, the one he wore when we'd dance in our kitchen. I hold it close, breathing in the faint scent of him, and smile through tears. "We're doing it," I whisper like he's listening. Liam runs in, grass-stained and beaming, holding a dandelion. "For you, Mommy," he says, and I tuck it behind my ear, my heart full. Robert and Diane's absence, their silence since I shut the door on them, doesn't sting like it used to. I'm not chasing their love anymore. I'm building mine for Liam, for me, in this little house where we're enough. The backyard swing creaks, Lauren's laughter joins Liam's, and I know this is home, the one Michael always promised we'd make. The Seattle summer hums outside my new home, the backyard alive with the buzz of bees, and Liam squeals as he chases a soccer ball. I'm Emma Carter, 34. 4 months past the surgery that carved a scar across my stomach but set my heart free. The appendicitis is a distant ache, overshadowed by the life I'm building in this 3-bedroom house. Its mortgage a lighter burden than the $3,000 I used to send my parents, Robert and Diane. I cut them off after they chose a Hawaii Halloween party. Over me, and Liam demanded I sell my old apartment to save their yacht and Palm Springs condo, and lied to our family about my betrayal. Now as I sip coffee on the porch, Liam's teddy bear with Sarah Nguyen's pumpkin sticker propped nearby, I'm surrounded by something new, not just a home, but a community that feels more like family than my parents ever did. Sarah's Zoom support group for single parents has become my lifeline. I joined a month ago, my first meeting. Shaky, my voice cracking as I shared about Michael's plane crash and my parents' abandonment. The group strangers who'd walked the same road listened, nodded, understood. One member, Karen, a widow with a 6-year-old, met me for coffee last week. She helped me find a preschool for Liam, one with a sliding scale that fits my freelance income. "You're not alone," she said, her eyes steady, and I believed her. My neighbors, too, have woven themselves into our lives. The Wilsons across the street brought a lasagna when we moved in. Their kids now Liam's playmates. Yesterday, their daughter braided dandelions into Liam's hair, and his giggle warmed me more than the sun. Lauren's visits from Tacoma are steady now, her influencer sheen, fading as she shows up with board games and apologies. I bought into their story she admitted last weekend, pushing Liam on the swing. "I thought you were pushing them away." "I'm sorry, Emma. I'm still guarded," her years as their golden child left scars. But when she reads Liam bedtime stories, her voice soft, I see a sister I might love again. She's trying, and that's more than I ever got from Robert and Diane. My parents, though, are unraveling. Lauren told me they lost their Palm Springs condo to foreclosure, the $180,000 debt. Swallowing their dreams, they sold the yacht at a loss, Robert grumbling about taking a hit. Now they're in a 1-bedroom rental, a far cry from their gated community. Robert's working part-time at a hardware store, his pride bruised. Diane's in family therapy. Lauren's idea, though, she says it's hard to face herself. Lauren whispered, "They still blame you, but they're starting to see they messed up." I nod, feeling nothing, not anger, not pity. Their choices, their consequences. I'm done carrying their weight. My memorial design business is growing, each project a tribute to someone's love, like the one I made for Michael. It's paying bills, rebuilding the savings I drained for my parents. Liam runs to me now, soccer ball under his arm, his grin wide. "Kick it, Mommy," he shouts, and I do my scar tugging, but my heart light. The Wilsons wave Karen texts about a playdate Lauren plans to visit tomorrow. Robert and Diane's world is crumbling, but mine's blooming, rooted in people who show up, who see us. This is the family Michael dreamed of, and I'm living it one sunny day at a time. The Seattle autumn paints my backyard in golds and reds. The air crisp as Liam races through fallen leaves, his laughter a melody that grounds me. I'm Emma Carter, 34. 5 months past the surgery that left a scar on my stomach but freed my soul. The appendicitis is a faint memory, eclipsed by the life I've built in this 3-bedroom house, where Liam's swing set creaks and his teddy bear, still wearing Sarah Nguyen's pumpkin sticker from that Halloween night, sits on the porch. I cut off my parents, Robert and Diane, after they chose a Hawaii party over me, and Liam demanded I bail out their $180,000 yacht and condo debt and smeared me to our family. Now, as I watch Liam chase a leaf, I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving. Surrounded by a community that's become my family and a purpose that's healing me. My memorial design business is steady, each project a way to honor loss while rebuilding my own strength. But something bigger has taken root. Inspired by Sarah's kindness and Rachel's care for Liam, I founded Beacon of Hope, a nonprofit to support single parents facing medical crises. We offer free childcare and financial counseling, things I desperately needed that night at St. Luke's. Last month, we held our first fundraiser at a Seattle community center. String lights glowing as neighbors Karen from my Zoom support group and even Rachel volunteered. Sarah showed up her nurse's scrubs, swapped for jeans, handing out flyers. We raised $5,000, enough to help 3 families, and the local paper ran a story calling "Beacon of Hope, a Light in the Dark." When I spoke at the event, my voice shook. I was alone once, but strangers saved me. Now we're saving each other. Liam clapped, not understanding but proud, and I felt Michael's presence, his dream of a loving family, alive in this moment. Lauren's part of that family now, her weekly visits from Tacoma. A bridge we're slowly rebuilding. She's at the house today, raking leaves with Liam, her laughter soft. "You're doing something amazing, Emma," she said earlier, her eyes meeting mine. No trace of her old influencer mask. I'm still cautious, her years as my parents' favorite left wounds, but I'm starting to believe her. Robert and Diane, though, are a different story. Lauren says their life's smaller now, their condo gone, their yacht sold. Robert's hardware store job humbles him. Diane's therapy sessions force her to face truths. They're changing, Lauren insists, but I'm not ready to trust. Not yet. That's where Sarah's forgiveness workshop comes in. I've been attending, sitting in a circle of strangers who share their pain. Last week, the facilitator said, "Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you to let go of the hurt." I started a journal, scribbling my anger, my fear, my hope. I'm not there yet, but I told Lauren she could take Liam to see Robert and Diane for an hour next week, supervised at a park. "They don't get to hurt him," I said, my voice firm, "or me. It's not forgiveness, not fully, but it's a step away to loosen the knot in my chest without giving up my boundaries." Liam runs to me now, a leaf in his hand, his grin wide. "For you, Mommy," he says, and I tuck it in my pocket, my heart full. Beacon of Hope's next event is tomorrow. Karen's bringing her son, Rachel's making cookies. This is my life now, rooted in love, not obligation. I'm not defined by Robert and Diane's choices. I'm defined by mine, by Liam's joy, by the community we're building, and that's enough. The Seattle winter wraps my little house in a soft gray mist, the backyard quiet except for the occasional drip of rain on Liam's swing set. I'm Emma Carter, 34, standing in my kitchen a year past the surgery that carved a scar across my stomach and a deeper one across my heart. The appendicitis that nearly took me at St. Luke's feels like another lifetime, overshadowed by the life I've built from its ashes. Liam, now 4, is sprawled on the living room floor, coloring a picture of a bear with a pumpkin sticker. Sarah Nguyen's sticker still clinging to his teddy from that Halloween night when my world shifted. I cut off my parents, Robert and Diane, after they chose a Hawaii party over me, and Liam demanded I save their $180,000 yacht and condo debt and tried to paint me as the villain to our family. I found strength in Rachel's care, Sarah's kindness, Lauren's redemption, and a community that became my true family. Now, as I stir hot cocoa for Liam, I'm not just surviving, I'm whole. Today, I'm meeting Robert and Diane at a small cafe, down the street, neutral ground, no expectations. It's the first time I'll see them since I slammed the door on their demands a year ago. Lauren pushed for this, her voice steady. Over coffee last week, "They're different, Emma. Therapy's cracking them open. They want to know Liam to fix things. I'm skeptical decades of their selfishness don't vanish overnight. But I'm here for me, not them. I've grown too much to need their approval, but I'm curious. Can they change? Do I care?" The cafe's bell jingles as I walk in, Liam safe with Lauren at home. Robert and Diane sit at a corner table, looking smaller, older. Robert's broad shoulders slump, his usual swagger gone after a mild heart scare last month. Diane's designer clothes are replaced with a simple sweater, her face bare of the makeup she once wore like armor. They stand awkward, and I sit keeping my hands in my lap. Robert clears his throat, his voice rough, unsteady. Emma. I've been a terrible father, he says, and I freeze. Tears well in his eyes, real tears, not Diane's theatrics. I saw you as a resource, not a daughter. I'm ashamed. Diane reaches out, not touching me, but close her fingers, trembling. We've been in therapy thanks to Lauren, she says. Her voice soft cracked. I was jealous of you, Emma, your strength, your independence. I pushed you away because I couldn't match it. She pulls out a letter, handwritten, and slides it across the table. Read it later, she whispers. It's everything I couldn't say. I don't touch the letter, not yet. I'm not ready to forgive, not when their absence that night, when Liam needed them, when I could have died, still stings. But I talk, sharing stories of Liam, his love for soccer, his new preschool, the way. He sings off key. They listen, really listen, no interruptions, no demands. It's new, unsettling. As we finish, Robert's voice breaks again. Could we meet Liam someday? Just to know him, I study them. Searching for the old manipulation, but see only hope, fragile and raw. That depends, I say, my tone firm. You earn it with actions, not words. Short visits supervised, and you respect me as his mother. They nod, no arguments, and I feel a shift, not trust, but possibility. Walking home, I read Diane's letter under a street lamp. I failed you, it begins, not because you weren't enough, but because I wasn't. I'm sorry for choosing myself over you, for missing Liam's light. I'm learning to be better. It's not perfect, but it's honest, and that's more than I ever got. I tuck it away, my heart lighter, not because I've forgiven them, but because I don't need to carry their weight anymore. Liam greets me at the door, his crayon masterpiece thrust into my hands. For you, Mommy. He beams, and I hug him tight, his warmth my anchor. Lauren's in the kitchen, making cookies, her presence steady. A sister I've grown to love. My memorial design business thrives, each project a tribute to loss and love, like the one I built for Michael. Beacon of hope. My nonprofit is growing, too, helping single parents with childcare and counseling, its second fundraiser set for next month. Karen from the Zoom group organizes playdates, Rachel volunteers. Sarah drops by with stories from St. Luke's. My neighbors, the Wilsons, invite Liam to their Christmas party. This is my family, chosen, not forced, built on love, not obligation. I think about Sarah's forgiveness workshop, the facilitator's words. Forgiveness is your freedom, not their absolution. I'm not there yet, but I'm closer, not for Robert and Diane, but for me, for Liam, for the peace we deserve. I've transformed from a daughter, chasing approval, to a mother fierce in her love, a woman who knows her worth. Liam's laughter fills the house. Lauren's voice joins in, and I smile, knowing Michael's dream lives here in us. Life's taught me hard lessons, ones I carry like tools for the road ahead. First, setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's survival. A way to protect your heart in a world that demands too much. In America, where independence is king, saying no to toxic ties is power. Second, find your people. When blood fails, look to the strangers who show up. Neighbors, support groups, friends who see you. They're your tribe. Third, forgiveness is a choice, not a debt. It's for you, not them. And it's okay to take your time. Last, turn pain into purpose, my surgery. My loss led to beacon of hope, proof that your darkest nights can light someone else's way. In a culture that celebrates giving back, your story can be a spark. I step outside, the mist cool on my face, and watch Liam chase a leaf in the yard. Lauren joins us, her arm around my shoulder. Robert and Diane may earn a place in our lives, or they may not. Either way, I'm not defined by their choices. I'm Emma, Liam's mom, a builder of homes and hope, surrounded by love that doesn't demand a price. This is enough, more than enough.